Hopefully it'll come out in one piece, not damaging the board. But the only way to find out is to remove it. Looks like the board has survived, but the bottom pad is now detached from the board and is in risk of contacting the neighboring pad. So I'll cut some of it off and glue the rest of it to the board. Unfortunately, I don't have this part available, so I'll have to steal it from the donor. Get it clean, and get it ready to go on the board.
おっと、敵が近くに着地してきたね。こっちの敵を死に。あっちに敵がいる。
Installed, I will go ahead and place the earlier removed coils back on the board, since we no longer need them removed. And then retake all the measurements and see if anything changed. And it looks like one of the 12-volt lines is simply because it's a different group of drivers must have. So let's get some voltage and see if something like that. And as before, I will steal one from the donor and place it on our new board.
Later tonight when I'm more sleep deprived. があればいいわね。
Wala pala akong mic. Naka-off pala. Buti naman. 1 year ago.
If she had time to go to festivals, no. Which there are a lot of, and we'll get to. Emergency meetings, and the worst things about being rich. And, you know, is there really anything bad, Andrew? Come on now. The man knows how to clickbait you into something. Now, there's no doubt that Andrew Tate will use things like image intimidation to show that he has a nice place, nice car, nice everything, good body, and all these things. And of course, no doubt with all of these benefits, image intimidation works because the people that follow Andrew Tate look at everything that he has and says, this guy probably is a decent authority. You know, when he's driving his Bugatti in front of various other supercars that he owns at the Tate compound with a goddamn samurai standing at the door, you know that this guy actually, you know, probably has some, probably knows a few things about the things that he preaches. You know, it's kind of like when Elon Musk talks about a cryptocurrency, people will believe it because Elon talked about it, and Elon's one of the richest guy in the world. He probably knows a few things. Image intimidation works in a lot of these sectors, especially when you're selling courses, which we'll get to. Now, of course, while there's plenty of YouTube videos that talk about all of his crazy shenanigans, there's a lot of, I guess you could say, history around Andrew Tate's backstory. For instance, Andrew Tate is a very, very good kickboxer. From all I've seen in his entire career, he has a pretty established thing where he's got like 78 wins to 9 losses. I'm no kickboxer myself, but that's pretty good. However, it says the section's factual accuracy is disputed. But of course, one more thing that's factually disputed is the claim of how this guy actually got kicked off of one of the reality TV shows he was on. Now, he's on Big Brother, I think it was UK. I don't really know anything about what goes on in Big Brother. I'm not a big reality TV person. But this is one infamous clip that basically started floating around. When I saw Andrew Tate a while back when I was first introduced, this is the first clip that showed up on Twitter and various social media platforms. And it was one of the more disgusting clips to find. It's a clip of Andrew Tate basically taking a belt and hitting this one woman over here. Now, when I first saw this, I was immediately wondering who's filming this, what's going on. Now, when I saw this, it didn't really have any audio attached to it, and when I looked closer into it, one of the actual responses and rebuttals to this was the fact that this was a consensual BDSM roleplay scenario. In fact, it appears this blonde woman over here actually showed up and basically said this was effectively just roleplay. Of course, speaking directly to the camera, hi everyone, I just want to say something about the video that has been released recently of me and my ex-boyfriend Andrew Tate. He is still a great friend, and what you saw in the video is just something we used to do. It was pure game, he is a great guy, and he would never hurt anybody, unless he is professionally fighting. I just want to let you know that this has all been a huge misunderstanding. I already got kicked out of the house because of it, which I find really unfair, because it was just a pure game. That's what we used to do. Now, of course, one clip that's completely sort of flown under the radar until I looked even further into it was this one specifically, where it was a different girl, it seems, with black hair, where Andrew Tate is actually pointing out bruises. And I want to warn you, this is some really dark stuff to look through. I'm going to basically cut out most of this video, and I'm going to let you play the audio. Because, again, I'm not here to talk to Andrew Tate. He's not somebody that's going to listen. But I am talking to the fan base that vehemently follows this guy. What you're about to hear is not alpha behavior. This is some really dark stuff. So again, listen carefully, listen closely. So you've got the black hair, different person it seems. They've got a blur on their face, obviously, so I can't identify. But again, just listen to it real quick.
With what? A belt, because you're a jerk. Show me the bruises. 1, 2, 3. Oh, baby. Oh, poor thing. I have an idea. You know what my idea is? You wanna know what my idea is? That's right, lock the door, you knew I was gonna beat the out of you. If you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I? Don't. Get out.
Now, of course, to the people watching, this is clearly a door that's been locked. And I just want to wonder what the story behind this is. Clearly somebody that's engaging in like some consensual play is now locking doors and obviously seems like distraught completely in this clip. This is not alpha behavior. This is some disgusting, decrepit shit that you come across on the internet. And if you're somebody that respects or looks up to a person like this, seriously grow up and actually seems to be or some real actual because this isn't it, chief. This is just disturbing shit. If you're somebody that thinks this is haha funny, 99% of the world looks at this kind of shit in disgust. And that's the right response to have. But again, this is just one dark aspect. There are more to uncover about Andrew Tate. There's allegations of human trafficking. And of course, one has to look into this alpha male's earning and how he actually made his money and his fortune. And just exactly how he continues to fund his lifestyle by preying on the individuals that are the most weakest and susceptible to his bullshit. But of course, a big bulk of it actually comes from running a website. Actually, according to a little mirror.co.uk article, basically brothers make millions using webcam girls to sell sob stories to men. It sounds about legit. To which, we're actually going to read a bit of an anecdote. Now here they said, Andrew said,
Tangina. Pero bakit dun?
viewers were told she was in London, making her seem more attainable to the UK men. Andrew said $4 a minute to keep her company was a good deal. However,
Good
she
move.
paid real money because men fell in love with her and believed her fake story, and tipped thousands to keep her attention and stop
My
other
bad.
men seeing her. Even when the face of the personality was speaking, our girls behind the scene would use Chloe's phone and constantly work on the relationships with her boyfriends. So just from the very basics of this webcam empire that it seems, it really appears that Andrew Tate, this alpha man, is a pimp. So once again, I ask the fan base that follows this man is a pimp worth respecting? You know, if you ask 99% of the general male population, absolutely not. This is one of those career paths that absolutely nobody can respect. Being a middleman, a pimp, especially in the adult entertainment industry, a very seedy entertainment industry to begin with, is quite disgusting. But the way that it's described here, it really just seems like a fraudulent empire to goad absolute weak-willed individuals out of cash. So at the same time, this guy's trying to tell you about how to be a man, while it appears that his largest empire, or one of the things that put him on the map, got him that Bugatti, so to speak, is an empire that preyed upon the same people that he is apparently preaching to. How can you respect a man like this? He's like a drug dealer that apparently knows that what he's doing is wrong, but continues to do it. Absolutely beta behavior. And again, I'm only using alpha and beta because we're pertaining to this topic. Anything beyond this, I think they're complete jokes of definitions. To which, when you ask these guys about their business, they literally will say, it's a total scam. The model has just their hands on a keyboard that isn't even plugged in. I have real professionals who are fluent in English behind the scenes getting men hooked, finding out their interest, the name of their dog. A guy will come online and say, how's Sparky? It's an operation of professionals who lure these men in. Tristan said 80% of money earned by British models came from the men in the United Kingdom. But if a model is Slovakian, 80% comes from Americans. He said he once tried to stop a man spending his £20,000 inheritance on Chloe, but gave up when the punter came back weeks later and gave the money to another woman. Men will give all that they have. He said, I've seen men sell cars, TVs with Chloe. This guy's grand passed away and they were waiting for the sale of the house. When the house was sold, he'd get $20,000 and promised it to Chloe to pay for her fake financial problem. We had his phone number. It was only a year into the industry. I called the guy. I said, hello, my name is Tristan Tate. I know you use myfreecams.com. Let me tell you, Chloe works at a studio I own. Financially, she's fine. Keep your $20,000. He thanked me, but then weeks later, the man visited another site and Tristan told staff to take him for everything he's got. Tristan said he runs a legitimate business, and if they abuse it, it's their problem. So of course, it's kind of like peddling gambling, right? Like, this is where I think it's even worse than somebody who peddles gambling or drugs or any of these vices to people. When they act with the moral superiority that, hey, this is a bad thing, but I'm still going to partake in it. I have more respect for the person that knows they're a scumbag and doesn't pretend or like do anything about it. They're like, yes, I do promote addictive vices. I don't give a fuck about it, okay? Get addicted all you want. Looking at old Twitter archives, this is the scale of webcams explained in a single screenshot. So basically shows 339 people are watching one stream out of 1,609 models, right? It is your friends, brothers, fathers, husband, and uncle, men you know, do this, I guarantee it. Old and young, rich and poor, the allure of beautiful women willing to do as they say is impossible to resist. Better than selling crack! Shit, I even sell a course teaching men how. In excess of 2 million men at any one moment are indulging in this kind of entertainment. My estimate is an underestimate, if anything. It's made me a multi-millionaire, and I am not ashamed. My girls are well paid and happy to put on the show. Literally, it's a pimp. What's really wild is when you look at some of these guys, like for instance, another banger tweet from Tristan. If you don't fuck at least 2 virgins a year, you are unqualified to call yourself a player. Running through the same old circle of hoes as everybody else? Cool, but I'm better than you. I'm a different beast. It gets kind of weird when you look at some of the Tate's relationship with women, but these tweets kind of explain it. And again, the pattern of these tweets is just creepy. The oldest virgin I've ever had it with was 26, strict orthodox, staying away from men, kept her hair, skin, voice, mind, soul, everything. Rare finds, and this is just one of many. And it really paints a picture of how these people perceive women and relationships, and just how creepy it actually is. Now obviously, beyond just running one of these empires, Andrew Tate has a bit of controversy regarding the law and several charges being run against him. Now I've been looking really diligently amongst all of this because there are some really serious allegations. One of them being that he is an alleged human trafficker. Now I don't like to use that term completely and apply it to anybody. There's some serious research that needs to be applied. When I think of human traffickers, I think of scumbags like Jeffrey Epstein. And human trafficking is without a doubt one of the most serious crimes ever. It is in fact one of the worst crimes imaginable. And if you get caught doing it, in my personal opinion, the death sentence is just a bit too lenient. But of course, let's go on a little bit. Now of course, Andrew Tate's been sort of marred with some of these allegations, but of course, he's also been marred with a lot of charges that have hit him all the way in the United Kingdom, which is one of the countries that he holds citizenship in. So let's listen to one of Andrew's explanations and just go beat by beat from there.
Oh, fucking Newcastle. Kung gumalaw! Dali ka muna. Where is he?
Now, of course, I'm not here to talk to Tate at this point. I think that's a lost cause. But I want to talk to the people that actually put this guy on the pedestal. Let's go through the chain of events like normal, rational results real quickly. The guy gets, arrested. He gets into trouble with the UK police. The UK police detain him for a day and a half. They take all of the electronics and systems that he has. And after they have taken all the electronics, they've obviously processed that through their own system. And they've found up 11 new charges to bring to the table. 11 various different new charges. And of course, according to the internet and various research around and various reports, it seems that some of them may be related to things like sexual assault. So how is it that these are new 11 charges that have been brought up, and all of a sudden, they came out literally after they looked through the disputed electronics? It's really weird and fishy whenever that happens, like when your systems get taken, your hard drives get looked through, and all of a sudden they can find 11 new charges. But of course, he moves to Romania, which of course, if you know anything about Romania, if you look at the Corruption Perceptions Index, this is actual research that is brought up by Transparency International, you can find out they rank literally almost every country from 100 to 0. 100 being highly, non-corrupt, a clean country, absolutely sterling, all the way down to 0, basically being one of the highest corrupt countries that you can find. Now, of course, if you look into it, for example, Canada, my country, has actually been losing its corruption perception over time. So back in 2012, Canada was considered to be 84, which is pretty high. And all the way now in 2021, we're rated as 74. So clearly, in the Corruption Perception Index, Canada has become a more corrupt country. Now, of course, as you go down into the situation, you'll find that the United States, for instance, went from 73 all the way back in 2012, all the way down to 67 as of 2021. Of course, there's various factors to affect all of this. In certain cases, it can also go up, like, for instance, the space shuttle went from 52 all the way up to 70, which is a pretty massive boost into the entire equation. Of course, then you go all the way down to where our buddy is chilling. And if you go to Romania, for instance, Romania has gone from 44, went down a little bit, went to 46, 48, 47, all the way down and harmonizing around 45. So clearly, this is not a very, safe country. It is a corrupt country. It's easier to access corruption in Romania. And you don't have to listen to my words for it. You can listen right from Andrew Tate. And this is where I'm going to play the whole context and sort of debunk and talk about it together.
I find it offensive that a police officer in England will stop me for speeding and then refuse to take a bribe and pretend that... No, but I'll tell you why. Because he'll sit there and go, no, this is the law and order, and pretend that the law means something, and fuck me over. But if you're a billionaire, or if you're Boris Johnson, you can go to Epstein's Island, you can fucking throw parties during COVID, you do what the fuck you want, right? So the whole idea of law and order is a lie. The whole idea of it's bullshit. It's just about if you're high enough, you can throw it all away. I'd rather be in a society where if I'm in Prague and they stop me for speeding, they say, bro, you were speeding. No, here's $50. All right, cool. Bye. If corruption exists, which it does, let us all play. Why do only they get to play and I don't get to play? I find it offensive that...
Now, of course, Andrew is referring to the fact that corruption exists all over the world. Now, of course, this is where Andrew says one thing that's logical, and then he mixes in with a whole bunch of bullshit. Obviously, corruption exists in every single facet of the world. And yes, corruption is accessible to people that have certain power, certain funds, and certain, connections.
The thing is,
but that's not a good thing, anybody would say. We should try to strive to have no corruption whatsoever. He's trying to talk about the fact that there's people like Jeffrey Epstein, and people that are doing some crazy things in the world. And obviously, when we find out the true extent of it, and it gets brought into the light, which it always does in the end, thankfully, those people get taken to trial, those people get convicted, those people get their entire images completely ruined. Now, of course, corruption exists, there's bad people all over the world. Obviously, we should try to stamp it out as much as we can. It's not that, yes, corruption exists, therefore, hey, let everyone access it, make it completely equal and free. No, that's not how it works. Clearly, Andrew Tate moves to Romania because for him, it appears that accessing this corruption might be a little bit easier than in the United Kingdom, where he just doesn't have enough funds or power to do so, or the United States. So, of course, at the end of the day, corruption is bad, and it should be stamped out everywhere in the world, not freely accessed by every scumbag you could ever find. That's the healthy take to have. And I want to ask the people that follow him, what's wrong with the take that I have right here? Do you disagree? And if you do disagree, why should you access corruption everywhere?
Probably 40% of the reason.
40%. Okay.
Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. If you go to the police and say he raped you back in 1988, you go to the police and say he raped you yesterday, say, okay, you got physical evidence? Or is there CCTV proof? Where'd it happen? Okay, let's go interview him right now. And if it wasn't really right, I was like, we went to the club, we got drunk, she agreed to go back to my house, we started having sex, and then we carried on having sex. And then we had sex, and she didn't say anything wrong, and then she texted me afterwards, and I didn't text back, and now she's saying I raped her. The police would be like, okay, she's an idiot, bye. But no, not in the West. In the West, you can tell them that exact story, you're still fucked. You're fucked in the West. People say, why do you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is to me too. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say, to do what I want. I like being free. And if you're a man living in England or Germany or America or any of the Western world right now, you've decided to live in a country where any woman, any ex, any fucking bitch who works at Greg's who you bought a pasty from, at some point in the future can destroy your life. This Me Too era bullshit has not protected women. It's just destroyed the safety of men.
Now, isn't it a rather weird thing to say that 40% of the reason you're moving to this one country with a pretty high corruption index is all of a sudden, because Western men are living in a country where anytime, anywhere, they can have their lives ruined by a false allegation. Now, don't get me wrong, obviously false allegations are a thing. They're real. It happens, unfortunately, and it ruins it for actual women that have been completely harmed. But of course, to understand with the situation, how is it that this guy just wants to go to a country where for him it's such a big deal? 40% of the reason is because you don't want to get caught up in these charges. I'm going to wager and say that most individuals do not get caught up in charges like this whatsoever. I would say that given a normal, healthy, relationships that I've had in my life, I've never, ever come across a situation where an ex-girlfriend of mine has suddenly brought up these weird charges on me or whatnot. This is something that I can say from my personal experience, and even from the close friends that I've had who've had relationships, nobody has come out, and nobody lives in fear of having a false allegation. What is really fearful is coming across guys like this that are fearful of any them. I don't know whether they're understanding that their activities in the past may have set themselves up for something like this in the future, and that's why they're piss scared of the moment. But for somebody like this who just wants to be free and do whatever they want, what does that even mean? What do you mean do whatever you want? What, so that if these things come up, you can be in a country where you can access the corruption and pay somebody off so that nothing ever goes beyond its scope? What does this even mean? I want to ask the people who look up to this guy. Is this a normal, rational reason for an alpha male to move to the other side of the world? Just so they can 40% of the reason is so that they can get away from false allegations. I don't understand if, like, that's an alpha thing, if that's, like, normal. You know, in reality land, in non-cuckoo land, we consider that pretty fucking red flag territory to begin with. And any guy that's using this as an excuse, typically most other normal men will look at a guy like that and think, ah, scumbag. But of course, that's just normality hitting you. And I want to ask the fan base for this guy, how is this defensible? How is this like a cool thing? How is this alpha, so to speak?
It's not.
This sounds like the most beta, near criminal shit that I've ever heard of. But we'll get to criminality in a bit. Now, of course, the human trafficking stuff comes into an actual article that was posted just this year even. So this is from a Romanian page, and now this is a very serious allegation, of course, very, very serious. Again, human trafficking, very, very, very serious crime. So, of course, I want to do my due diligence and look into how this is going. From what I understand, from what I've seen, this is still an active case. So I've heard numerous cases like, hey, the case got dropped, blah, 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 blah. I have not found that anywhere where the case has actually been dropped by Romanian authorities or even the United States services that are involved in those cases as well. Of course, with cases like this, it's slow going, and information regarding human trafficking cases, it's going to be a while before you hear any updates to this kind of stuff. But of course, let's go read into it. So this is the Romanian page, which I'm going to go through. I'm going to go throw it into a translator. We're going to look at the English version. There's going to be some translation issues, but hopefully nothing too massive. The police descended with masks on the villa of the fighter Tristan Tate, ex-boyfriend of Bianca. I'm not even going to try. The British millionaire allegedly kidnapped 2 women to exploit them. So, of course, they've got an entire video one could watch over here. Romanian authorities, like, they're all dressed up, ready to raid the place. It was a full-on raid. They've got their Tate logo with the chess piece, and they've got numerous supercars lined up. You've got the actual owners walking around. So you just got law enforcement sitting around. So this was captured. They've actually had real authorities go on with this. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that the American State Department got involved. Let's go read through this whole thing. The Information and Public Relations Office within the Organized Crime and Terrorism Investigation Directorate announced on Tuesday, on April 1, the prosecutor's office attached to the Mafia District Court ordered the refusal in favor of DICOT, central structure in a case in investigations were being carried out under this aspect, or I think that might be the subject, of committing the crime of illegal deprivation of liberty. Okay, so just keeping people chained up, Jesus Christ. Central structure prosecutors heard several witnesses during the night in order to clarify the factual situation. The investigation is being continued, still active, by the Investigation of Organized Crime and Terrorism Central Structure with the support of BCCO's arrest and criminal investigation being carried out in arrest. The mother of one of the girls who was in the villa owned by the Tate brothers at the time they broke the mask gave statements to journalists. My child is a good child. He has never caused me any problems. I always asked her if she had a boyfriend, and she said, no, Mom, I'm just going to college. She's a very good child. I think that's why he bullied her, because she's too naive. He told me he was going out, she told me, I think that's what it is, she was going out for a drink with a friend. It seemed strange to me from the beginning. So he saw pictures of the girl she said she was dating. I saw that the girl had a more dubious figure. I didn't like it, but I said not to say anything to my child. The translation's a little bit wonky, but you can kind of understand the story. The mom is painting the child to be a good kid. Obviously, she wouldn't get caught up into this, but she was probably allured by the money and she was alerted by these characters themselves. The Ilfov police were notified on Monday by a representative of the Diplomatic Security Office of the United States Embassy in Bucharest regarding the fact that there is information according to which in a building located on Washington Street in the town of Voluntari, Emma Ida Gabby, age 21, an American citizen.
왜 우리 챔피언 안 주지? 네. 싸우지 말자 할 라인.
뭐야 안 내리네. 야수 다 먹으면 괜찮아. 야수 먹을 거 많아.
왜 맛있어?
하이 산카이. 산카이 안 하네.
산카이가 맞을까 근데 일본어.
나 일본말로 느리게가 천천히 하라는 말 알았어. 육구리.
우리?
아, 육구리라고 하면 천천히란 뜻이래. 맛있다. 왜 핑크 자기가 먹는 거지?
제분소에서 싸운다. 방이 안 나와. 레전드네. 맛있는 거 개 많은데 가방에 했나?
나도.
마인. 오.
아니 가방이 안 나와.
담배 누가 찜했냐? 너냐?
나.
가방이 없어.
나도.
똥가방도. 너가 먹었냐?
뭐가? 아 거기다 사왔어.
일렉 가방도 안 나와.
님 별로 안 멀다. 플라이어 잡아볼까?
와 진짜 레전드인데?
나 내었거든? 여기 안에 있겠지 뭐.
어디?
핑쪽.
안 보인. 오 드디어 일렉 가방.
틀려다
내
그거.
쪽이 잠잠하거든.
소리.
올 것 같다.
소송선 소리 난다. 오케이. 저 먹었어? 그거 병합 프라이어 그거?
아니? 거기 떨어졌네. 야 그건 어디냐? 동기야 그 황금 탄창.
아까 내가 핑 줬잖아. 너 핑 안 찍었냐? 그 동굴 안에 있는데.
내가 먹어.
아, 제가 먹었나? 내가 먹었을 수도 있겠다. 라이프라인. 그거 아까 제가 쓴다고 핑 찍었었잖아. 근데 사라진 거 보면 제가 먹었는데?
있냐?
여기 언저리. 여기 언저리.
에이 라라 삼바이 플리즈.
아 여기 있다. 있어.
라라 use that. 폴류.
나 필요해. 다 먹었네.
Sabi niya sa akin na lang daw yung ano, heavy magazine.
나라 you stay.
너 안 써? 중량화 장타창 4레벨?
Ba?
나 플랜 아니 3030이라 필요 없어.
뭐야 그럼 왜 찍어달라는 거야? 아우
개모네. 아 차라도 갖고 오지.
Sana all nag-i-stay. Shion.
프렌트로 가는 게 맞나?
Murasaki Shion.
소리 난다.
Na ako.
어? 소리 안 먹는데? 어? 안 먹는데?
바로
必要ならヘルスドローンを使い
그냥 넘어온가? 바로 앞에 어떡할래? 그냥 갈래? 아니면 싸울래?
싸우자고? 뭐 가자.
그냥 내 앞에 지나가서 썼어
빼자.
싸우지 마. 나는 그냥 내 앞에 지나가길래 눈앞에 눈 마주쳤으니까 한번 쏴줘야지. 인정?
또 오지 않을까?
아, 나
인정합니다.
아직 아래로 떨어졌어.
야 이거 올라가자. 로프.
걔는 안 와. 보자. 걔네 도망치고 있었는데 나랑 눈 마주친 거였어.
Ow.
必要ならヘルスドローンを使いな。
フェニックスキット
頼まれてちょうだい。
알아 사기다.
ライトアームが減っちまったね。誰か見
알아
て
너
ないか
피해라. 그냥 거기서 또 쏴.
レプリケーターを移送中。
나 반대편이다. 왼쪽 아니야 이거?
넘어간 거.
ライトアー
あっちを
ムを発見
監視する。から
여기
マ
아니야?
マを手伝ってくれるかいニュータ。おっと素敵だよ。
맞아 있어 옥상 건물 위에.
Wait, we're going in.
세팅.
敵だよ。
標的を発見。
아.
Shit, where we going?
어?
사운드 이제 쟤.
갈래? 어쩔래?
푸시.
한 세 팀이긴 해.
Push them.
한 세 팀 정도 돼? 세 팀? 두 팀인가?
우리 올라가서 쏠래? 건물 안에는 없어.
와 저기 있다고?
건물 안에 없다고.
部隊の半分がもう消えたのね。ガキンチョがいたよ。敵のシールドを破壊した。
그래
撃ってる。
갈게나.
ブロックホールを放つよ。巻き込まれないようにね。グレネードを投げるよ。グレネードを投げた。グレネードを投げた。
한 팀 끝.
あっちに悪い子たちがいるね。
팀 끝. 한 팀 남았어.
敵がさらにダウン。シールドをリチャージしてるところよ。
한 팀 어디?
さあみんな。
어디 있어?
Saan?
어나던데 어나더? 어나더.
チャージしてる。
다른 팀 됐다.
Are.
야 뒤쪽에 있어. 핑 찍은데 내가 핑 찍은데.
어나더 있어.
させる。敵が近くにいるよ。
와 그것 팀 맞네. 그것 팀. 나 살리고 있을게. 나 살리고 있을게 나.
Gago. Shit. Ba't mo kinancel?
들어왔어?
No.
와 3명 합.
New squad. Sad.
아 안됐다.
Damn. My bad. I'm gonna do some off-stream grinding towards platinum. This is gonna take a while. Alright, I'm going to bed, I guess. Let's see. Internet connection. Has Azure Lane done with the maintenance? Okay. Let's see. Dude, I wanna play Azure Lane. Oh, still maintenance. No oras pa. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pa.
Once cleaned up, I will inspect the soldered pins, and this one I don't like, so I will quickly go over to make it look like it came from a